Sound production.
Good evening, gentlemen. I am back once again. 2 live streams in one day. Ain't that some shit? That's crazy. Surayita streaming 2 times in one day? Who would have expected that? Well, I did say that I was going to do it earlier, so it shouldn't be much of a surprise. But this conversation is going to be interesting. It's pretty much going to be a chill stream. And I have Gray with me as well. So this will be something that hopefully you guys have 100% engagement when it comes to this conversation. And this will be a good time. This will be a good time. Also, thank you to Sacred Y. If you want to support your boy, the link is on top of the chat, Cash App /Suritas. Any type of donation is appreciated if you feel that my channel is good enough for your investment. Thank you very much. I'm going to invite the one, the only, Gray Ghost. What's going on, man?
Hey, good evening. Got some Christmas presents to paint up, so background.
To paint. Are you talking about like action figures or
Yeah, minis.
is it Gundam?
No, it's not Gundam.
Damn it. That's a typical go-to. So,
It'd be nice though. I would like to make Gunpla, like at one point, but it's just one of those things I never really grabbed a hold of.
well, I knew a dude that had like this like gigantic like 3 foot fucking Gundam thing that he built. That was insane, and he painted it and everything. I'm like, wow, like there's a lot of people out here that got some skill, right? When I mean skill, I mean steady hands. They're able to paint inside the lines and stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm decent with that, but a lot of that stuff requires airbrushes. I'm like, why don't I do it with natural brushes?
Oh, so you trying to do it like old school, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like a lot of guys have the brushes, but it's like I haven't taught how to work with like synthetic brushes and mixing the paints by hand rather than a whole bunch of airbrush stuff. So I would just want to focus on boosting that skill rather than switch out all my equipment.
Okay. Well, when it comes to the topic today, what direction do you want to go? Because there's multiple ways we can start this conversation. So, how would you want to begin? Because what I want to talk about is probably different from what you want to talk about.
Well, since we're on the main channel, I can bring in this angle because it was something that was mentioned to me today that I found kind of interesting. Like I was asked like, if I'd been getting any puniti lately, and I was like, "Well, no, I'm busy. I don't got time for that shit." And the dude was like, "Oh man, there's always time. There's always time for puniti. It's everything else is what you sacrifice." And I was thinking of what Chronic says all the time: "Men who lack purpose find it in women." Like
Wait. When was this?
just earlier today.
In Chronic Stream?
No. It was no, a guy at work asking about
Really?
weekend. Yeah, asking about weekend plans.
Honestly, okay, he probably doesn't know any better, but I would be downright offended if he tried to bring that bullshit. What the fuck? What do you mean sacrifice everything I have for some mediocre, used up peace sleeve?
Yeah. It's like, dude, I have better things to do than spend my evenings and money attempting to dig a half-eaten Arby's out of the dumpster. Like, come on.
Can you repeat what Undead Chronic's quote is one more time?
Men who lack purpose will find it in women.
And gentlemen, you see it every day. Don't tell me you haven't. I guarantee you've seen somebody in your life that they literally have nothing else to do but to chase tail. And in my opinion, that is sad, like beyond sad.
Yeah, it's like especially when like, they're not even going. Like I've heard about this particular guy's stuff before, and he's going for like like women in their 30s, and it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, dude.
In their third, oh come on, bro! Like he just like you think he won't disappoint you even further that he like just breaks his own record. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like, look, you nailing some fucking 30-year-old ex, or I guess I can't really say ex, but old hooker is like not really. That's not an accomplishment.
Like you think that's winning? Like you really think that you're winning in life? She's probably recovering from the clap. Like you really believe that you're living your best life, chasing some female that's probably making you pay for a lot of shit that all these other fucking Pookie and Ray, Chad and Tyrones, all they had to do is probably wave a blunt or promise her McDonald's and she's busting it wide open.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I mean, like I've just been walking around at night, and I've had women ask, like, "Hey, do you want to party at your place for a bit?" And I kind of got shit to do, so.
And I'm not trying to get robbed. Bitch, what you mean party at my place?
Yeah.
Shit.
They were up from the city, so I'm sure that they were just looking for some free booze or something.
I see what you're saying, but you know how fucking conniving females are these
Oh god,
days.
yeah. No. Again, we see the desperation. So yeah,
Right. See,
if a woman is a woman's nice to you out of the blue, is like they clearly want something and they'll take you for everything they can get.
okay, and I'm sure a lot of men have a lot of intuition when it comes to that, right, chat? If a woman out of nowhere, especially if she's an attractive woman, approaches you, you automatically have your red flag waving. Like,
You
what
would
does
be
she want?
again, some of the shit that I fucking hear is like, damn, you guys really don't understand how this shit works? You guys really don't think that that shit's on purpose? Like, no, she didn't just fucking sit down and offer to suck your dick in public at a party because you're just that fucking hot. Like, no, she has a fucking boyfriend and she wants to start a fight with him.
Either that or she's trying to rob the fuck out of you. So those are very two different scenarios that happens a lot more often than you think, gentlemen, especially not just in the United States, but certain foreign countries, right? A big one is Colombia. If you think some a good looking female out of nowhere, she doesn't know you, you don't know her, she comes to you about something, best believe she has her Simps and White Knights on standby with a bunch of bats and shit, ready to rob your ass. Or worse.
Nah, that's the thing. Like, you listen to some of the guys at work, and like the ones that aren't married are fucking thirsty, and the guys that are married just can't seem to understand why their wives are uncooperative bitches.
What do you wait, well, what do you mean by that? What do you mean?
Well, one guy is like basically in a fucking hot and cold with his, where like they're like fucking yelling at each other because she's literally got nothing better to do aside from start fights with him. The other one's like, why are women so upset when we're right, especially when we go to the internet and pull up the information? I'm just thinking to myself, like, really, you guys don't get it? You're married and you don't get it?
I see what you're saying, bro.
That's the thing. Like, when like the guys around here talking with you, like, I'm fucking spoiled. Like, I go out to fucking day-to-day conversation with work. It's like, I cannot talk with you guys about women. You guys are fucking delusional, a lot of you.
She's a queen when she's missing like half her teeth and has to get her AIDS medication from the hospital. She's a queen, bro. What you talking about? Like, oh hell no. Hell no. And here's the thing that I wanted to mention as well. Gentlemen, when it comes to degrading entertainment, right? Things used to be a bit more classy. In my once again, I haven't been alive for that long to give you like actual experience, but at least decades ago, like years and years ago, the clubs and the bars or the gentlemen's clubs, whatever it is, it was definitely on point to the point where you maybe be able to find a potential, future with somebody. But right now with 2022, with the clubs and the bars and all that stuff, they're literally letting hookers inside. They're literally letting streetwalkers inside. That's it. Like, I have to step away. Oh, what's up?
Let's be honest. The freaking classy ladies of the freaking 30s and 40s. Sorry. The streetwalkers of the 30s and 40s would be considered classy ladies by today's standards.
Yep. That was the point I was trying to get across, even though they're streetwalkers themselves back in the 30s and 40s. Right now, gentlemen, it's literally, you have to deal with, it's pretty much an animal in heat in 2022. If she believes that she has a slight chance with you, she will be relentless and not oh, let me go ahead and be feminine and look good and try to get him interested in me. No, she's literally like, oh, let me get some of that dick. Oh, you got money? Oh, I like money. Maybe you should give me some money. That's what a lot of dudes had to deal with in the clubs and the bars these days. and then they act shocked where there's not many dudes going to these places anymore. Like it's don't get me wrong, that's pretty much what the point is of these places, but it's pretty much dealing with a dude with a slit between his legs these days. It just like it's just so fucking weird. So fucking weird. I ain't talking about all women, but majority of them in these certain places, like I said before, clubs, bars, and stuff, they are completely aggressive as fuck. They don't take care of themselves. You can tell they don't take care of themselves. Yet, while they're looking like a 3 or 4, they expect that you simp for them. You bow down to them. Like you are. This chick is like over 200 pounds, 5'4", wearing like a fishnet fucking outfit, something disgusting. But yet she expects that you, the well-established man, to worship her like a goddess. What kind of shit is that?
Like, can you imagine going back in time, like a century, just 1 century ago, and telling men, hello, men, just to let you know, 100 years from now, most women will be around 200 pounds.
They'll call you crazy.
Yeah.
They'll say,
Well, to be fair, for the amount of shit that we tell them that the future's going to hold, they'd call us crazy for a lot. But then they'd look around and be like, if a woman's 150 pounds, then she goes on a massive diet, or it's because she's pregnant. I was like, nah, man, they go and get fat. Real fat. And they ain't gonna get tall either. I'm not talking your 7-foot whatever Amazonian goddess ripped with muscle. Nah, I'm talking fucking 4'11", 200 pounds. And that's not gonna be unusual.
ugh. That is not good. That is horrible. Jesus. Yeah, I could never with that. And over 100 years ago, there was virtually no obese women.
I think, like, back then, you had to try. Like, really, really try.
You had to eat like as much chicken and broccoli as much. You had to go get a couple gallons of gravy.
You basically had to have a sandwich of pure, like, just lard and bread.
Ugh. Oh god. Well, yeah, that's still pretty gross.
Yeah, it's gross, but, like, seriously, unless you're, like, the only other way would be you'd have to be loaded, just absolutely loaded to get that fat.
Oh, that is true because being fat is like a sign of wealth back then, right?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't think you'd despite what the fucking SJWs say, is like, look, I'm pretty sure that fat women were never fucking attracted. And women weren't getting fat because they were like, oh, let me flaunt how fat I am to show off to the common people how wealthy I am. I was like, nah, bitch, you like sweets. You eat your fucking cake. You eat your big fucking meals. You eat all this shit that's bad for you. You get fat, and you're rich enough that you don't give a shit about what other people think.
Well, that was more for a male anyway, right? Showing off his gut.
Perhaps. That's the
Just
thing.
show, I can afford a
Like,
lot of food.
that's the thing. I really don't think that men would even want to show. Like, a man would probably just want to show off that he's not skin and bones. I don't think a man, like, I can't think of a time throughout history when a man having a pot belly was considered a good aesthetic thing.
I can't. I know there was a period where that was like a sign of, hey, you know, I could take care of you because look at me, look at how much I can, eat and buy and all that. I'm gonna have to look up the period, but I know there was a certain period where being a big boy, not too big,
What?
but big enough.
What's the thing? Like, I agree that there was that it was an indicator to be sure,
Right.
like being perhaps on the heftier side. But at the same time, I can't really see it. Okay, well, here would be the thing. Like, for me to think that it was actually desirable, I'd have to see examples of a poor person attempting to get fat on purpose to pass as a wealthier person.
Well, it would be difficult back in the day to even um how do you say it? It will be difficult for a poor person back then to get to that point because of the scarcity of food at times. Because yeah, you can eat like a bunch of potatoes or whatever they ate, like some simple stew. But if you can afford certain meats and stuff, or certain high quality stuff, you'll be able to get chunky, a lot easier than a guy
Like,
who's
for
poor.
example, like I'd want to find like an example of a con man from that era who's really not wealthy but eats a lot specifically to appear wealthy. So I guess like
Um,
I'd want to like for me to believe that it was seen as desirable to have that because it showed off your wealth. I'd have to see someone intentionally using it that way, not just they were wealthy so they ate a lot so they were fat.
no, because I forgot which country. I'm about to look it up, but you had to be rich to get to that point type situation. So I'll have to look it up. I have to look it up because the poor people, they struggle to even survive or maintain
Yeah,
weight.
yeah. I get that, but
Right.
like there's a difference between this was just seen as they're loaded because they can eat enough to get fat versus this is beautiful because it shows off wealth.
Well, I know there's other factors that can like goes into it, right? Like the clothing and all that stuff. But it's like a pretty much an automatic indicator, pretty much.
Now Hermit puts it nicely, like if you were a fat dude back in the day, it showed that you had money, the same way that a spray tan might do today.
Right, because today it's anybody can get like some fat or some meat. Back then, that was definitely a scarcity.
Well, no, that's actually
Good quality.
well, this is the thing in Southeast Asia, actually, where women will intentionally cover up as much of their skin as possible so that their skin is very pale, because then it shows that, oh, hey, I don't work outdoors in the sun. I'm super wealthy. And
So you talk about that colorism stuff.
yeah, like it's basically the reverse of a tan, because in the West, like if you are very pale, it usually means you're a corporate drone. Whereas if you have a tan, it means that you're going to Maui every month or whatever.
I agree because of the British Empire, which I will put mainly the blame. That type of subconscious thinking is still around today in Asian countries.
Well, no, that's the thing with the Asian countries. It's more so that if you have a tan, it means that you work outdoors and you're probably labor and therefore poor.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, if a person of color is out and about, you know, Asian or not, they assume that you're a poor, worker. So it's that's a whole different conversation, unless you want to dive into it.
And it's not really the topic of this, but
I'm just saying, we can definitely talk about it. It's a different, but what did Evil Hermit say? Because he definitely had a good point. Today, poor people are fat. You can only be fat as a poor person in cloud. Yeah, I agree. It's pretty much like a switcheroo, in my opinion. It's like a switcheroo. Now, if you're rich, it's because you can afford all the expensive, high quality like vegetables and these crazy lean meats and stuff. Like you don't have to indulge in all the processed foods that are being made today. So I agree with Ibra Herman.
Oprah's pretty
Oh,
fucking chunky
oh.
and she's wealthy.
Who?
Oprah.
Yeah, but isn't she like old as shit now?
Yeah,
Like,
probably. But it's more so that like wealthy women, like they have the option of being skinny. And chances are they're also on a shit ton of expensive drugs too. That tends to, burn a shit ton of calories.
I agree with that. I agree. Let me
Like have you ever met a fat crackhead?
No. I have not once.
They're on the nose they're on the nose powder diet.
Yeah, you'll see your abs very quickly if you took the sugar burger. Yeah, it's not going to end well for you. You know, it's a great weight loss tip, but I suggest
I
you don't
mean,
take it.
I mean, like, okay, you think, what do you think is a worse diet plan? Coke or tapeworm?
If I'm going to keep it real, I would say Coke.
Yeah, I'd say that. I think it's easier to quit tapeworm than Coke.
Don't that do some weird shit? Like, you got to put like a bucket of milk next to your butt and like attract the tapeworms to get out of your body, that stuff. That's like back in the day thing.
Yeah, like now you probably just have some anti-parasitic shit that you'd take, but
Yeah, I've seen videos of surgeries of the tapeworms, and it is definitely traumatizing.
oh god, yeah, and I've seen some video footage too. It's like the inside of your intestines are coated with living spaghetti.
I watched a video, I think it was like 12, 13 years ago, like early YouTube. I still haven't forgot about it since. It was like you said, it was just literally like a whole thing of spaghetti, moving spaghetti. Like I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, what the fuck? And the tapeworms can be like 6, 7, 8 feet long. Like, fuck that, bro. That's why with pork, you better cook your pork pretty well, chat. If you're gonna be eating pork.
Like, there are very valid reasons why God hated people eating pork a couple thousand years ago. Very valid reasons.
Oh shit. That's why I hear people, let me go ahead and have my pork medium rare. Like,
Pork, nah, fuck. The only meat that you are going to have anything but well done is beef. That's it.
I love beef. But at the same time, I do love chicken and turkey. And duck I have here and there. I don't really have duck often. But I'm a big fan of protein, chat.
Actually, can you have... I know that you can have venison steaks. I assume that if you can make a steak out of it, then you might be able to vary it up.
I had it. I had it medium well,
Okay, well then that's the thing. So venison might also be an exception. But point is, your chicken and your pig, you're getting that stuff well done. You ain't half cooking that.
Agreed. Hell no. And I have the duck medium rare. Yes, you can have duck medium rare. Very delicious. I didn't cook it. Had a family member cook it for me. I do need to learn how to cook duck, not gonna lie. So IY fan, he says, Sir Yudas, men back then like women who were fat from pregnancy, because after women pop out 4 or so, it won't matter how well they exercise or eat, they won't lose in pregnancy weight anymore.
That's fair, because that's the thing. Like, when you had a robust woman, she was seen as motherly.
But are you talking about just a smash or marriage? Because that's where that variable comes
Well,
in.
no, that's the thing. It wasn't about smashing or marriage. It was more so about community respect.
Okay, I read his comment wrong. I see what you're saying now, white fan. I see what you're saying. Yeah, the fact that she's willing to go through something like pregnancy 3 or 4 times, yeah, that's very high respect.
Thinking like from Greek mythology, Demeter, like goddess of the hearth. I think that she's been portrayed as like homely, or like I think certain depictions of Mrs. Claus too, like just kind of that, like that motherly kind of fat.
So pretty much Big Mama. uh, that's a black version. Like
I'm aware. I'm aware.
Okay, just making sure. Okay.
Yeah, like personally, I think that goes like a little far, but that's the general idea is that you had fat women in their fucking 30s and whatnot. And it was like, oh yeah, well she's clearly been a mother that's popped out quite a few.
Nah,
Although at the same time, I don't know if IYFan's completely correct, because my grandmother on my dad's side, she popped out 7 dudes and she was not husky.
See, that's the thing. Personally, besides genetics and stuff, if a woman really wanted to, she'd be able to slim down pretty well. Not back to her, supermodel body, but she won't be overweight.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like from what few pictures I remember seeing of her, like she never had that like motherly figure, but she popped out 7 dudes. So the weight can go away, but it might have been a genetic thing.
Personally, that'll be a keeper. She's able to pop out 7 and still look pretty, in shape for her age. That's a very good accomplishment. Like, be honest, like, would you be
let me tell you this. She was such a keeper that she died before her husband.
Well, isn't that typical though? Like, isn't like
no, usually the man dies first.
Right. But she died before the husband.
Yeah, quite several years before the husband,
right.
Really.
I mispronounced.
Decades.
Okay. I understand you now. My bad. I had it flipped. You see, I'm gonna go back to the red pill shit. The only thing that men are really looking for, it's just like effort. It's effort. Like, to condense everything that we've been talking about on this channel, the main thing that men are looking for is if she's willing to put in the effort to make the relationship work. Right? Not half-ass effort, but like actual, like, hey, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Oh, you think I'm getting too big, making a little bit too small, blah blah blah. She's willing to appease her man, and I guarantee you, her man will be way less likely to be going out there and cheat.
That's the thing. Like, when a man and a woman get together, the objective, the goal, is to make the family.
Right.
Like, the man is not fucking working his ass off every single day and bringing home all the money to spend on himself, and the family's just kind of there. Now, he's working for the family.
And you see, that's the thing. And once again, yes, I'm gonna bring up Tate once again, but he made a great point when it comes to the legacy that men and women leave behind. His great-grandmother, or his grandmother, I forgot which one it was, she was lying in her deathbed, like pretty sick, pretty nauseous, and she was surrounded around 70 people that came from that one woman. 70. And not one person asked about what her occupation was, how much money she made, what kind of name brand clothes she had, was she strong, independent, didn't need a man. The main focus was she was a good mother, she was a good husband, she raised the next generation of very productive members of society. And that's how it is at the end of the day. So just imagine how bad it will get within the next 10 to 20 years. You see all these elderly women unable to have kids, and they're literally alone trying to sip hunt so they don't die alone. I'm just putting out there, gentlemen, because men, we are a judge of what we've done when it comes to what did we produce, what effect did we do to make society better when it comes to what did we make? Like what did you produce for the world that you pretty much left the world a better place? What no matter how small or how big. That's how we are judged. When it comes to women, did you have your husband's back if she's married? Did you have your husband's back 110% and make sure that you were the key factor of raising the next generation? The pretty much you were the anchor of the family. So while the husband's out there doing his thing out there in the world, doing his thing, you were able to hold it down at home and make sure that the kids were good and you had your husband's back 110% of the way. So what do you think about that, Gray?
Well, that's exactly it. Like you see these women and they're in their old age, and it's like you like when they don't have a kid, that's one thing, but when they do, especially if they have a daughter, like they will sabotage that daughter's life to keep the kid around.
Daughter or son?
I've seen it with daughters. It probably happens with sons too. But
well, what you already know the term son husbands, right?
yeah. Like here's the thing. The mother might do it with the son, but then the son has at least a chance of getting away because the son is a man and can therefore go out, make it on their own, and either just live independently or whatnot. A daughter, like lonely single woman in her 30s living with a lonely single woman in her 60s, living with a lonely single woman in her 90s.
Pretty much, they. Well, when you put it that way, they have no choice but to have each other at that point.
But that's the thing. Like if a man cannot be made to enter the picture because the daughter has no skills, well, she's forced to be with family, and if the only family she has is her single mother.
Well, see, and here's another, we're going to speak about differences between men and women. Ooh. So when a man gets married, right, hypothetically, he goes off and starts his own bloodline. Don't get me wrong, the son is going to come back at any time. The son is still able to come back and make sure that his actual parents and stuff are okay. Make sure that his siblings are okay. But when it comes to a woman getting married, pretty much her 90% focus is on her new family. So that's just me being nice, right? That is me being nice. Let's go for the worst case scenario. The man does something stupid, right? And he goes to prison or he goes to jail and he's a rebel, blah blah blah. There's still that slight chance of him turning around. Depends on the situation, right? He's able to, because once again, you don't have to hide the truth towards men. You can keep it real 100 million%, and that he's on his own, right? Like, hey, you're fucking up, get your shit together, or you're fucked. That's pretty much the basis of reprimanding your child, reprimanding your son. But when it comes to the daughter, if she's out here being a 304, right, another Megan Thee Stallion or a Cardi B, guess that responsibility is going to fall upon. And that's if you choose to do it, right? So if she's going out there, then all of a sudden she becomes a single mother. Who is she going to come back to? Because with the son, you can easily tell your son, hey, you need to go get a fucking job. Hey, you need to start taking things more seriously. You're a father now. You need to start picking up your weight. You need to start getting shit done. But when it comes to the daughter, you're pretty much stuck with her and the daughter for years. Worst comes to worst, until the grandchild becomes 18. right? Because you guys hear stories of the grandmother or the grandparents having to take care of the grandchild because their daughter is too busy going out there and busting it wide open in the clubs and shit.
Well, beyond that, even like for a single mother, childcare is expensive, and I've seen this happen with my own family where the daughter literally could not afford to work. Well, the mother could not afford to work because it costs more in childcare than she would be able to earn from the job.
I see what you're saying. It's like on average, like a little over $2,000 a month. Like it's not a little over 2,000. I think I'm overdoing it, but
It depends on how many kids.
that as well. I agree. I
Like
didn't want
this
to
is
overestimate.
yeah. But beyond that, then you get into the situation where it's like I think that's prior to them reaching school age. Then when they reach school, then that's government taxpayer funded daycare.
I completely agree. I know you mentioned it before. You
Yeah.
know, parents for
But
the most part, they
that's the
use
thing.
oh,
They're sending
sorry.
the kids. They're sending their kids to school for daycare. Primary concern I hear when there's issues is like, school's been canceled due to fucking weather or coof or whatever. So I gotta find a babysitter. It's like that's your top concern. You can't trust your kids. You can't trust your school age children alone in the house.
But if you're 10 and 11, they'll say, "Hey, play the video game," or "Hey, use a smartphone." There's
I
a
think
snacks in the fridge.
I think it depends. It depends on the parents.
Yeah.
Like, let me ask you this: how old does a kid need to be for you to trust them to make a bowl of cereal?
11, 12.
Well,
Like,
they need to be 12 before you can trust them to feed themselves a bowl of cereal.
yeah, shit. Fucking spilling things. I'm just playing. But in all seriousness, I would say 9 or 10 years old. No, I say 9. 9. Yeah, 9. Because it's not that hard. Like I've seen it myself. Like it's not that hard for a 9, 10-year-old to pour themselves a bowl of cereal. Even though they'll make a mess, they're able to do it. It's like the simple stuff, like and once again, they shouldn't be doing it by themselves, but cooking hot dogs or you know, ramen noodles, like the directions are so simple. You know, I can see a 9, 10-year-old doing it. I
Like
can see that happening.
I don't know, because it just seemed like further back, kids just seemed way more independent going back, like prior to my generation at least. Just
I agree. I agree. So when would you trust your children to, you know, make their own cereal?
I'd want the like this thing cereal where it's like open cupboard, get box of cereal out, pour it into a bowl, milk optional, go to fridge, get thing of milk, pour milk and get it out. Like I'd want them doing that by the age of 7. Like if I'm capable of talking with them well enough to communicate the instructions to them, like
I see what you're saying. Like, if they're able to handle the gallon of milk, then I can see them doing that at 7 years old.
that's the thing. Like, and if it's like, oh well, maybe it's too heavy for them, it's like, well, then you get little boxes of milk about their size.
Talking about cartons of milk, you know, at least, or
Yeah,
something
like little freaking single serving milk cartons or whatever.
okay, then that I'll be able to trust the child at 7.
Like, and there's little like freaking like snack sized things of cereal you use. Like, you can probably still get them if you go to Costco or whatever. But there's like individual single serving cereal bowls.
Oh yeah, the That was the school breakfast where I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the thing. Or like, maybe those little snack packs where like you literally just open it up and then you make a sandwich with some crackers and a pre-cut piece of bologna and cheese. I mean, like I don't think you need to hit double digits in age before you can make yourself some of those.
Well, I know that I started I understand what you're saying. I really do. Like I did start learning cooking at around 7, 8 years old. Where once again, I had the parents or a Weber guardian was looking over me when I'm cooking the most basic shit, like very basic, but it's basic enough where the parents don't have to get up, you know, early in the morning to make sure my shit is good. So I see what you're saying. I was just thinking about the giant gallon of milk that they had to, because
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a matter of like portioning your milk out into smaller containers. But I'm thinking I remember when I was 6, and it was just me and a school friend, and we made this like it was a thing where you put like wire into a mold, and then you poured this like latex mixture into the mold, and then you cooked the mold inside like this tabletop. It was like a thing for kids. It was kind of the rage in the early to mid '90s to have kids like making weird stuff at home. And then after that, you got a little bendable, posable action figure.
that sounds pretty fun, actually.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I don't remember having parental supervision, that kind of stuff. Like I think that they were somewhere in the house, but they weren't. I don't remember them doing it for us. It's just a friend knew how to do it, and he showed me how to do it. It wasn't rocket science. And I'm pretty sure that if you can trust a kid to work with something like that, then you can trust them to make some ramen noodles in the microwave.
Not based on what I've seen.
But that's the thing. That's the more modern. That's the more modern era.
Right.
Like that's what I'm getting at here is that kids today seem incredibly helpless, and how much of that is the parents aren't teaching them to be independent. They're really just looking at them until they can walk and talk, and then they're shuffling them off to babysitters and whatnot. No intention of the kid actually gaining independence.
I agree, because I was walking to school by myself at 12 years old, and it was a 45 minute.
Immediately, that's like, dude, I was biking to school at the age of 6.
Oh shit, we were. Honestly, I think I broke my bike. Yeah, I think I broke it, but I was definitely walking to middle school and high school like by myself, doing like we take the exact same route, like that's what we were taught, but it was around 45 minute walk, and I assume that's why I was able to stay so fit, because after elementary school my parents was like, yeah, you walking to school now. I'm like, fuck. So it was definitely it was a liberating moment, because I don't have to have my parents like hovering over me 24/7.
Well, I think, I remember, like, when I was, like, 5, 6, 7, like, I had to cross 2 streets by myself. None of this freaking crosswalk guardian to make sure that you get there okay and stop traffic. It was like, nah, I was trusted, like, 5 to 7 to look both ways and cross multiple streets without getting hit by a car.
Trog, please tell me that you had, like, a sibling, because what the fuck? At 3? That's kinda,
okay. Who the fuck was going to school at 3 years old?
Like you were going to daycare, preschool. Like you got to elaborate, bro.
that is literally a toddler. So, like, even preschool usually starts at like 4, unless you were born in a weird month.
Like unless you had a sibling, then that would make sense. Because I don't see any 3-year-old walking on their own. They have no sense of direction, in my opinion. The average 3-year-old have no sense of direction.
That's the thing. Like, three would be the youngest that I'd assume you could give any stuff. Like, at least for me, like prior to 3, there is no cognitive memory. Absolutely none. Like for me, fucking life started at 3 years old because I got no memory prior to that shit.
Pretty much. I agree. Like, I remember things vividly when I was 5. That's when I started like actually retaining memory. So 3 years old, hopefully you're not walking by yourself, bro. Cause that's like goddamn. Like I don't hey, once again, Truck, I don't know where you're from, so I'm not doubting you.
That's the thing. Like if you're way out in the middle of ass fuck nowhere, that's one thing. I would not want to do that in the city.
Nah, you got some fucking creeps in that shit. Just fucking like Door the Explorer, like Swiper. Like you got some creepers up in that bitch, just ready to swipe your ass. Like it's
Like, and I mean, even out in the country, I'd be like, I'd honestly be kind of worried about coyotes. Like, your 3-year-olds wandering around, I'd worry about the wildlife getting your kid.
that is true. Actually, no, you are from okay. I do know where you're from, so you definitely have to deal with a good amount of wildlife, right? So I understand what you're saying. You know, I'm not that far, but I guarantee you I never had to deal with the amount of wildlife you had to deal with. Right. You had a whole like moose, right? You got to deal with a bunch of moose and you know reindeer. There's probably some reindeer up in that bitch.
Well, not when I was younger. Like nowadays, yes, but like further south, like you don't get moose, like in southern Ontario. Like, but you get coyotes. You get coyotes.
I know we talked about this before, but moose are way taller in person than you see in the videos.
Yeah, again, they are comparable to elephants. Like when you have to think like where do moose fit on the scale of animals, they're the same category as elephants. They're just thinner.
It's crazy that people like hunt and eat moose. I wonder what moose tastes like. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm pretty curious on the taste.
Jeez, I think I've had bear. I don't know if I've ever had moose.
Bear, you have to cook it a certain way because it's pretty damn gamey if you don't cook it properly.
Greasy. It's very greasy.
But the bear fat is good. I've tried bear fat.
Oh, okay. No, like dead serious. Like fucking life tip right here. Rendered bear fat is great for burns.
That is random. Why is that?
It just is.
So you just pour the fat.
You rub it on. You rub it on. Like you rub it into it like an ointment. Bear fat is just amazing for burns.
Well, that is
Like
new.
better than medical shit on the market, kind of good.
That is way more. I learned something new today. Not gonna lie. What's it called? Steve Sanchez. He says, "You ever cook with bear fat before you eat?" No, but I've had rendered bear fat. Like I've had somebody cook down the bear fat. They drank the bear fat. I'm like, bro, you're trying to get a heart attack. But according to the person, it's a good energy source, like way healthier than like an energy drink or something like that. But I got the crispy bits, you know, and that was on point. That was delicious. But I learned that people they drink the fat for energy. So I thought that was pretty cool. But Sergeant Grinch, he says, Gray has to worry more about his PM than coyotes. True.
Well, nowadays, yeah. Like,
I am not from Canada, but I'm sure Gray can answer this one.
oh, that one. Which would win, moose versus hippo? We did have this discussion the last time this came up. I think I'd have to concede. I think I have to concede it to the hippo.
Is it because of the bite?
Because of the bite, but also because of the body, they've got better defense.
Who? What will you kill a moose with? A big ass fucking caliber?
Yeah, decent caliber rifle.
Like literally close to 50 cal. Like
Well,
something.
what's the thing? That's the thing. Like you gotta aim it right. Well,
Yeah.
wait, wait. If you shoot a moose and you shoot it in the ass cheek, you're just pissing it off.
Yeah, I'm running the
Like
opposite
even with a
direction.
high caliber, like even with a decent caliber, you're just pissing it off. Best case scenario, it runs away.
Well, you gotta
It's
shoot
probably
at the
not.
heart.
It's probably not going to. But yeah, you got to you got to aim for a heart shot. Otherwise, you better go for a headshot. And keep in mind, it has a very thick skull.
See, that's another thing. I was just immediately thinking at least a 50 cal. Because I would not want to deal with the moose, so I'm shooting just like the itty bitty, like, oh, I got 5.56 millimeters. Ooh, let me I'll get impaled by the horns or the antlers.
Okay, honestly, maybe what might happen is it could probably. That's the impaled is one thing, but they're not really impaling. What they'll probably do is throw you.
So they're gonna yeet me?
Yeah, have you ever seen a wolf yeeted by a bison?
No, actually.
I'd have to find the video clip of that, but yeah, there was some footage from I think a BBC documentary which had a wolf versus a bison fight. Bison literally tossed the wolf like 20 feet in the air.
Oh, so it's literally like yeet and like
Yeah. Like flipping in the air.
oh, that is glorious. That's like better than the video that scene of the I think it was a killer whale launch.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeeting the seal or whatever. Yeah, no, I guess the moose will. I think if it gets you with its rack, it's probably gonna yeet you a good distance, and then it's probably gonna stomp on you.
Well, isn't it like a little over a ton?
Yeah,
Or okay, so I'm not off. So a moose is like very, very heavy.
very heavy.
You the spirit animal is a bison. Why a bison? Like you gotta elaborate on that one. Also, I do have to address this right quick because your boy Gold Dalek gave a generous donation through Cash App. There's no message, but thank you very much for the donation, Gold. Right now, it's pretty much a chill stream, like I said in the beginning of the chat. So we're just pretty much having a normal conversation, having a good time. And before we continue, if you want to support your boy, the link is on top of the chat, or the Sacred Y is spamming in the chat. Any type of donation is appreciated. Cash App / Soritas. If you feel that my content is good enough for you to invest in, thank you very much. But when it comes to this moose, have you ever had moose before, Gray?
Don't think so. I might have, but if I did, it was at least 2 decades ago when I visited my grandfather's hunt camp.
Oh, really? Well, you probably don't remember what kind of meat it was anyway.
I'm pretty sure I had bear there just because I was interested. I don't remember when I had moose. I might have had like a moose burger, but it's been so long I couldn't describe it to you. It wasn't bad.
I know that it was crazy. Like me and the homies, we went hunting a couple weeks ago, and we definitely got a nice sized deer. But be like, you know what? Hey, let's go ahead and carve it and gut it, and let's see how much you can eat right now, right? Just like the cave days, right? Because you gotta eat it immediately before it spoils, right? I Didn't realize how much.
Didn't realize how much meat is on a big deer.
Yeah, we had around 8 guys, and we only finished like little over half. Like, I'm like, damn. Like, they literally had to go through this, like the caveman days, to eat as much as possible, so they're able to not starve for the next few days. Who is Ton? Oh, why
Tonka?
did they say that? Who is that? Who is that?
Tatanka. I think that's a video game character.
Oh, I was just about to say, I'm like, somebody come up in here. But yeah, the fact that, after they're done hunting, they take as much meat as possible back into the tribe. And, at that spot, all the hunters, they try to cook or eat raw as much of the prey as possible. That's crazy. But the
Oh,
caveman bet. Oh, what's up?
oh yeah. No, I just found Tatanka, and I probably found the scene from it where it's a wolf versus a bison, and I think that one of the wolves is getting yeeted by the bison.
Do you want to show it?
Uh, let me see if I can. Hold on, I gotta.
Just give me 1 second.
I don't know. I literally just pulled this up, so. Hold on. Stay up my camera. I fiddle. Turn off the volume just in case we get copyrighted.
Bro, what did I come back to?
I think this is Tatanka.
Is this it?
Well, it wasn't what I was talking about, but this is when I searched Tatanka. This appeared, and I was getting yeeted by a bison. So
See, this is a moment where you know that you and your homies fucked up. Oh shit. What kind of show is this? I've never seen this show
I
before.
don't know. It's some sort. It's apparently some sort of series of animal legends. Like I
Like,
literally just searched it up, and this video stuff appears. So,
is this new or
oh, pretty sure it's not.
who knows? You know how lazy developers
Wait,
are
was
these
that?
days.
Wait, hold on a second. Was that? Oh my god, is that bear about to trip fucking balls on a mushroom or
Oh
something?
God. Hey, Rusty Webers, what's going on, man? But you want to go back on topic, Gray?
Yeah, it's just. Yeah, hold on.
That was an interesting situation. But when it comes to entertainment that we have in society today, it definitely degraded so fucking much. And what I mean by that, I mean just like everything, the media, music, TV shows, movies. It's it's bad. Like I don't really remember the last time I watched an actual TV show that hasn't been cucked by the alphabet community or whatever it is.
Oh
So,
god.
what do you have to say about that, Gray?
Yeah, like that's the thing. I'm trying to think what. I've stopped watching movies. I think the closest thing we had to TV show was like maybe Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Maybe.
That was actually pretty phenomenal. I have to watch it again. I
Yeah.
have to, because half the time
Like,
I was like, I was I was buzz as fuck, and I was having the greatest time of my life. That was a great. Hopefully, they come back for a season 2 or something, because I had a great time watching that show. It's been a long time since I've enjoyed, because there was no type of fucking, ooh, look, man is stupid, women is smart, future is female. No, it was great.
Oh, that's the fucking. Like, I swear, like, I know whenever I hear Big Bang Theory on, because it's just fucking non-stop canned laughter. Like, I don't know, and then I see people with fucking season box sets of The Big Bang Theory. It's like, what the ever-loving shit has happened to people? Or I hear that they're like, oh, Willow's looking really good. Oh, I like the new Star Wars. I'm like, do you have no taste? Absolutely none.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real. The Big Bang Theory isn't as good as people proclaim it to be. Let's say the last true TV series I've watched was Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. That was a phenomenal TV series. And once again, this is excluding any type of anime or whatever it is. This, like, strictly on TV, Breaking Bad was phenomenal. I loved it. Masterpiece.
That's probably about as far as we can go, really, is just be like, yeah, Breaking Bad was good. So, yay, Breaking Bad was good.
Well, how do you feel about Lucifer? You heard about that show?
I've heard about the show,
Right.
but coming from someone who read the comic,
Oh.
like,
Oh.
let me put it this way. From what I understand of Lucifer, at no point does Lucifer create an alternate dimension where he recreates humanity starting with the Garden of Eden and reverses the entire script is flipped on his head, where it is Adam who falls to temptation because of whispers that an angel put into him.
This was in a comic?
Yeah.
Well, I gotta check that out. That definitely wasn't in the TV show.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And then there's no scene where he fucking breaks the rules of existence, so he's in a race to go save the soul of one human he actually owes a favor to, and he's literally outrunning the erasing of reality on a ship made of fingernails.
Okay, I gotta read the comic now because I don't know what the
like that's the thing. Like when you've read that kind of story and it goes with that kind of epic scale, but also incredible depth of character, the TV show was like, I kind of don't care about this fan fiction.
Honestly, I enjoyed the first 5 seasons. I don't know about the 6th season, but overall, it was like a mixture of like the Holy Bible and Law and Order. Like I enjoy that type of.
Yes, that is very different from the comics.
I know, but I don't know. I think they did a decent job, at least. Like they kept my attention.
Anyway, you'll read the yeah, it can keep your attention, but I'm pretty sure that if you read the comic and then watched the show again, you'd feel the same kind of crushing level of disappointment for what might have been if they actually had a decent budget and weren't restricted to real life shit.
Okay, I'll give you that one. I'll see if I can read the comic. I'm at it's DC, right?
Yeah, it's it actually picks up from the Sandman universe's Lucifer, where like Lucifer literally gives up hell and essentially retires to Earth.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty much a similar. Okay, I'll definitely check it out, man. But Sir Wee Wong, Oh, what's up?
It starts off the same way, perhaps with the same basic premise, and I think there's a couple of characters that cross over, but the arcs and the stories are completely different. It's, again, as far as I'm concerned, it's fucking alternate reality fan fiction.
Okay, I see what you're saying, but Sir Wee says Breaking Bad was not a good show in my opinion. Why not? Why not? Didn't they win like Grammys or whatever the fuck it's called?
Yeah, like I have no clue. Let me put it this way: Breaking Bad was not something that I was ever actually interested in.
No, I've only watched it sometime last year. That's the first time I ever watched it, and I was like, wow, this show is actually pretty good, you know. And I watched the rest of the season. Then I switched over to Better Call Saul because I guess that's a prologue.
See, I think it's the sequel. It just kind of picks up from where Breaking Bad left off, and then continues on.
I thought it was
Saul
before,
Goodman.
unless I'm wrong. You gotta,
I have no
see.
clue. I'm just guessing based on what I heard because some of my old coworkers used to watch it.
Let me see. Let me see. So I'm not looking like a fucking idiot. Of course they're not making it. All right, okay, I'm done looking for it. And I'm being clear cut. But Father Sanders says, "Damn, twaffer." What does that mean, Father Sanders? What do you mean by that? Yeah, let me know. Let me know in the comments.
A twofer.
What does that even mean? It's probably
I don't know.
lingo that I haven't learned yet.
Twofer, like a double, like two for one. I don't know exactly what the heck it was, but it was in context of something we were talking about.
Sir Weed, The Walking Dead was good until season 7.
Honestly, I had so many problems with The Walking Dead season 1. I did not even finish season 1 properly and had no interest in the further ones.
Oh, come on.
No, they fucking ruined character moments for the sake of pointless bullshit drama.
Okay, so at least how do you feel about because one of my favorite characters is Shane. Even though he died a horrible death. Shane is like the best friend of Rick.
Yeah, I know who Shane is.
I like Shane. He was ahead of the curve. That was his problem. That was his downfall. He was already ready for the eventual apocalypse because you've noticed as time goes on, Rick pretty much turns into Shane.
Yeah, well, keep in mind, Shane had, like, however long Rick was in the hospital to adjust to the situation. Rick was in a fucking coma while everything happened.
Okay, we're gonna go way we will go way too down into the rabbit hole when it comes to The Walking Dead. So here's the big thing that I want to ask you guys, everybody in the chat right now. Everybody in the chat, name your favorite masculine movie. I repeat, name your favorite like gun-ho, action-packed, guns blazing, testosterone-filled, fucking whatever it is, masculine movie. Let me see your options. Because I guarantee you the options is between 1970s to early 1990s. Oops. But let me go ahead and see it.
Honestly, if I had to pick one, like the one that I actually have the most nostalgia bait, for me personally, Death Race.
Death Race is a great one. I love Death Race. But Trug says Die Hard automatically, a classic. Secret Y and Noah says Predator. Yep. That's a great one. A-Team. Yep. Rambo, you got to name which Rambo. Which Rambo is your favorite? You got to tell me. Young Guns. Have I watched that? I don't think I have. Have you watched that, Gray?
I nope.
I don't think I have. Hey, I'll look it up. I'm gonna see if it's good or not. I think Expendables is the last testosterone-filled movie. Like,
Never
just
actually
straight
saw
up.
it.
Well, you know, they brought in all the old school.
Oh, I know the premise. I
Yeah.
know the premise. I know what it is. I just never actually watched it.
Okay, okay. But it's just that there was no political bullshit. There's no alphabet community, no drag queens running around. Just straight up, we're going to shoot some shit. We're going to arm wrestle, and we're going to drink as much beer as possible. Like that type of shit. Like, yeah. Where men can actually be men. Punisher, yeah. Well, which Punisher?
Yeah, you gotta.
Because
Yeah, you gotta be kind of specific. Like, okay, let me put it this way: the Punisher, where he fights Russian Waldo.
oh, you mean that one WWE wrestler?
Yeah, like the dude literally dresses up as Waldo, and they basically fight through the entire house, and it's one of the most brutal fucking 1v1 melee scenes I think I've ever seen in cinema.
I think his name was Kevin Nash.
Maybe I don't know. All I know is that he was Russian and he dressed like Waldo,
Oh.
so he's Russian. So as far as I'm concerned, he's fucking Russian Waldo, and in Soviet Russia, Waldo find you.
Yeah, I was just saying because he's he's pretty much a legendary wrestler now. He was in damn, I fucked up. The most recent, I guess you can say masculine movie, I will say John Wick. To an extent, I will say John Wick.
Keanu's done quite well for himself, yeah.
Yeah, it was like no cliches, no, hey, let's say some political bullshit. He's going in for the kill. You killed my dog, so I'm gonna chop off your earlobes. Like crazy shit. Clint Eastwood, okay. he didn't even have to. He didn't even have to mention the movie.
Actually, honestly, yeah, like the man. Oh yeah, the Man with No Name trilogy as a whole, but like Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That was some good shit.
Oh, great shit. And Commando, ooh, okay, that's a good one. That's a
Yeah,
good one.
Commando's some classic shit. And some of Schwarzenegger's best one-liners.
Oh, that's all he like. I'm sorry, like I know he had like the Terminator and all that stuff, but like him's like screaming at the top of his lung, "Get oh, take my hand if you want to live. Take my hand." Like that is such intense shit. Like it's legendary, legendary. He brings the movie to life with his like "Go with me if you want to live" type shit. Get to the chopper. I will not question it at all. Like, sir, yes, sir. Like, let me go ahead and go over there. Black Hawk Down, classic movie, completely classic. Rocky, which Rocky? Because I'm a fan of 1 through 3, maybe 4, 5, and 6. I think just 5. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Because I don't really see a 50-something-year-old man get into the ring with a world champion. That is stupid. You feel lucky, punk. Oh, shit. Death Wish, yes, that's a great one. Jason Long says, great talking about a scene from the Thomas Jane Punisher. Yeah, I really like they were like throwing each other through like walls and shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Actually, can't really go past manliest stuff anyway, other than mentioning the manliest anime And no, it's not JoJo. Baki. I'm pretty sure I've sent you Baki stuff already.
Oh, I've watched all of Baki, and I
Yeah.
think I pretty much like read everything. I don't know if it's continuing or not, but I know I finished it with I gotta stop you, Gray. I gotta stop you, Gray.
What?
What the fuck? Rusty Rivers gave a generous donation through Cash App. What the fuck?
Your Christmas bonus, I guess. Holy
like literally. Goddamn, Rusty Rivers, you are making it rain. Are you sure you're not a billionaire or something like that? Anyway, he says, "Tell Gray I said hi."
message received, Rusty. Holy shit.
God damn, Rusty. Woo! He ain't fucking around. I greatly appreciate that, man. That is going towards even more. Actually, no. I have to fix up the Yeetus News because there's some things I do want to tweak. So I'm going to give it to a couple of artists. So my shit will look more professional on Yeetus News. Thank you very much, Rusty Rivers. What the fuck? You're very generous today. Woo! Woo! Damn. Yeetus is rich now. Rusty is a baller, man. God damn. He's like, oh, you got money? Let me show you how much money I got. But chat, in all seriousness, I know I named through all of these movies that you guys pitched in. These movies are around the, correct me if I'm wrong, 60s to early 90s, right, Gray?
I think Death Race would probably be the most recent, along with the Expendables, but like pre 2010, I think.
Oh, okay. Pre 2010. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Everybody in the chat right now, put a 1 if you believe that there's still movies out here that celebrates masculinity, or put a 2 saying that they're trying to destroy masculinity through the media, like TV shows, movies, whatever it is. Put a 1 if you believe there's still masculine movies out there in 2022. Put a 2 if you believe they're fucking trying to eradicate testosterone.
I mean, the closest thing I can think of to a show that had decent amounts of masculinity to it, and it's also a good Christmas show, is Happy. You heard about that one?
No, I thought he was going to say Die Hard.
No, Happy. It's a series on Netflix where I believe it's a cop teams up with his estranged daughter's imaginary friend to rescue her from a crazed Santa Claus.
I don't think I have seen that. What is it called again? Happy?
Happy.
Okay.
If you see a turquoise, like I think it's a horse, might be a unicorn, like a cartoony turquoise horse unicorn thing with wings, then yeah, that's the one.
So what is it? Like 2017?
Might be closer than, I mean, I'll look it up.
Yeah, because I see like a bunch of happies. But chat, this is what I'm talking about. They're really trying to make men digest. Oh, what's up?
Yeah, 2017 to 2019. I'll send you.
So is this like a comedy?
Yeah, like action comedy.
Wait, is that the dude from Law and Order?
Maybe.
Christopher Maloney? Wait, hold on.
Ooh, you might be right.
Like, you can't forget about the forehead. Like the forehead is very.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not trying to be mean.
Yeah, no. You're right. Now that I see it, it's like, yeah, no, it was a Law and Order, I think, Special Victims Unit.
Yeah, what's his name? It was Elliot.
Okay, honestly, I don't know. I must have watched like a couple dozen episodes of that just because it was on a convenient time slot. Could not tell you that guy's name to save my life.
I was
Probably.
I was pretty much forced to watch it, bro. Like let's just put it out there. Like once the older brother or the parents took over the screen is usually like some crime shit. It was weird. But Dr. Fourth Wall, he says, Yeetus, have you seen Beowulf 2007? If you want a somewhat recently masculine movie, yes, I have seen Beowulf. Is that the one where Angelina Jolie? Well, that's the one with Angelina Jolie, right?
Oh, is she CGI? Because
She
Beowulf
was
is
some
all
type of
CGI.
snake. She was some type of snake and shit. Chat, was Angelina Jolie in Beowulf? Because I was like 13 years old, I think it was. It's been a while. Okay, so yeah, Dr. Fourth Wall said, yeah, she was in the movie. She was the monster or something like that. But
Yeah.
I feel like Chronic will probably be the only one to actually star in it. No joke. Chronic don't give a fuck, man. That's the thing that scares his enemies. Chronic he just doesn't care. And he made it clear on multiple occasions. If for some reason that he had to drop his avatar and all that stuff and reveal his true self, he's gonna go a million times balls to the fucking wall. I'm gonna go ape shit type situation. So imagine how he is right now with his current channel. Just imagine how he will be when there's some future whatever face reveal, wherever it's fucking going. Under Chronic is not going to give a fuck. That scares his enemies very much. Oh, what's it called? But that movie was good. I do remember the Beowulf dude being naked or something like that.
Oh yeah, he fought Grendel naked.
With just like a sword and a shield,
No,
or just
when I say
like,
naked, like naked.
oh, it's been a while since I saw this movie, so
Like I'm pretty sure he legit took on a giant troll with nothing, naked.
I'm not surprised too. I'm not surprised. But it's not only just in movies and TV shows, gentlemen. Okay, the music. Oh,
God, yeah.
I say the simping got very bad with R&B back in the 90s. Back in the 90s, the simping was at an all-time high. More importantly, among black men with black women, the simping got way too out of control. Way too out of control.
I think that the last time you got mainstream music that was actually masculine, I think was the 80s.
I agree. There's a lot of, people want to say, oh, but what about Michael Jackson? What about Michael Jackson? Listen, Prince was probably more masculine than you. Oh.
Yeah, Michael. Like I can think of many words to describe Michael Jackson, and yes, King of Pop, great music, great selection of songs. Which one of them would you actually say is manly? Because I can't think of any.
Well, I'm just saying, like, since it was like a different time, different place. What about Rick James? Rick James gave no fucks. He was fucking so many bitches and taking so much coke. Like Rick James gave no fucks. Shit, why do you think he ended up on the Chappelle Show?
Yeah, but let's be honest. Doing a lot of hookers and blow is basically just a PUA that can actually pull shit off.
Well, when you're a megastar, I don't think you need to do much.
The thing is, that's what PUAs wish they were.
True, I agree. I agree with that one. Yeah. See, Deli, I'm telling you, Rick James gave no fucks. He lived a crazy fucking life, and it's unfortunate how his life ended. Don't get me wrong, but when he was healthy and making rounds, hell, his last TV appearance was at the MTV Awards. I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the last thing he said was, "Hey, to the girl in the back, to the girl in the back, if you know who I am, I'm Rick James, bitch."
Yeah,
He
how
wasn't.
did he go
He
out?
wasn't supposed
Like,
to
how did he
curse.
go out? Did his heart explode or what?
I think it was like multiple things at once. I can look it up right now. It was like multiple.
Was it like health related issues, like due to the lifestyle, fucking drugs and shit, right?
Definitely, definitely. But I
Yeah,
can look
no,
up.
like that's the thing. Like for me, like that's just kind of like you reap what you sow. Like when I
Well,
think of for me, like the tragedy of like the 80s or early 90s was Randy Rhoads. He was basically the protege of Ozzy Osbourne. Like he could play fucking amazing, and he got on the plane to go study classical guitar to improve his technical skills, and he died in a plane crash.
Well,
Like that's a
just,
fucking tragic death right there.
just a sidetrack. Rick James did die of a heart attack. In 2004. But there's plenty of rock stars that met an unfortunate death. You already know about the famous ones, right? Cobain, who's Jimi Hendrix. I'm not going to say the Beatles because that wasn't his fault. Because of his promiscuous lifestyle, Freddie Mercury. And there's some people that should have died a long time ago. I'm gonna keep it real. Ozzy Osbourne. How the fuck is he alive? Like he's still alive. Let me look. He's still alive, right?
I think so. I probably would have heard of you then.
Like, how is he still alive? The amount of stories that I've heard about him and what he's done, it just makes no sense to me.
Maybe he's actually a vampire.
Most likely, yeah. Yeah, he's 74 years old. 74 years old. But when it comes to Jimi Hendrix, if you guys know who Jimi Hendrix is, unfortunately, I think he died from choking on his own vomit. So I'm telling you, man, it's a crazy time when it comes to music. But let's talk about since we're talking about old school music, right? Because we can definitely go farther back. Like something Armstrong. He was famous for playing the trumpet. I forgot his name. But let's talk about today's music. What the fuck is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj.
I think that we can.
Bitch.
I think we can quite frankly point like a universal thing that all mainstream pop music and rap music and all that shit. One thing that it all points towards: female fantasy.
Female fantasy. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
Because like this, I think before you sleep covered it, but I'll give you just kind of the Cliff's Notes real quick. The male fantasy is being a hero. The female fantasy is being a villain and getting away with it.
I never thought about it that way. I'm not gonna lie. This is a first. Huh. It makes sense.
Look at all the top movies like that women love. It is all about a woman being a horrible fucking person and getting away with it.
Well, that does explain why they watched the first 48.
I mean, shit, like top female fantasy film, Titanic.
Isn't that more of a damsel in distress type thing, or are you talking?
She is an engaged woman who cheats on her fiance with a random like artist con man dude, and like he dies for her along with like literally hundreds of other men in the freezing ocean.
Oh, hundreds?
And at the very least hundreds.
Oh, it's thousands.
Thousands. Like I don't know if they had thousands on screen, but at the very least, yeah. Like she dies she lives where thousands of others die after cheating on her fiance, and she gets to live to a ripe old age of fuck you. And at the end of the movie, the whole reason that anyone gave a shit about her, that fucking super expensive Heart of the Sea diamond, she drops that shit in the fucking ocean.
What was that famous scene? It's been 84 years.
Yeah. Like that's the like, and she fucking grows old and has grandchildren after being a fucking cheating whore on the Titanic.
Yeah, you pretty much proved your point right there. I agree. Because I was just thinking about the end when it comes to, they want to be a damsel in distress, but I completely forgot about she's trying to fool around, and she was married, right, or engaged?
Engaged.
Yeah, she was fooling around with some fucking nobody, which happens on a daily basis, gentlemen.
Yeah, fooling. Like, it's a nobody who just happens to look like Leonardo DiCaprio, but yeah.
Well, yeah, if you look like, Chad or Tyrone, right, and, Leonardo DiCaprio, he's known about his looks very well. Best believe. She don't give a fuck about his status or money or none of that shit. She's trying to fuck.
No, but straight up, the female fantasy is all about being a horrible person and getting away with it.
Agreed. That's why there's plenty of plenty of movies and TV shows where the woman is the bad guy, and more likely than not, she's able to fake it to where nobody will believe the main character, like the main character is crazy, you know what I'm talking about? Or that one movie, it's an old school movie where the woman shoots off the man's kneecaps and drags him to a barn or to a house.
Oh,
it's a famous movie.
I think I know the one you're talking about.
Chat,
like,
do you know?
Like, it's been memed straight to hell and back. Like, obsessive fan or whatever. Like, she's a super fan of this guy, so she fucking breaks his kneecaps and kidnaps him and then forces him to listen to all her stuff while she hand feeds him.
I said shoots to kneecaps. Yeah, breaks his kneecaps. Is it called Misery? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think, Misery rings a bell.
Okay. Yeah, so like those type of things. And did she get away with it? I don't know if she did. Sir Weed, did she get away with that type of situation? Did she die? Did she go to jail?
I'm looking it up. Plot synopsis.
Oh, I was asking in the chat, but okay.
Serious car crash, yeah.
She died?
No. That's how. So it's a novelist.
Oh.
Rescued by a former nurse, finds out that he's going to kill off her favorite character, and then goes, wow. Oh, she apparently killed her father, her college roommate, and many patients in hospitals.
Well, that's the stupidest way to go to jail.
No. That was just her fucking history.
Yeah, I know it's her history, but I'm just like the risk of going to jail. My bad.
Uh, so yeah, apparently, yeah. So she, I
Wait,
think so she kills the. I think yeah, she kills the sheriff, and is going to do a murder suicide, and he manages to. Yeah, he does manage to kill her in a brawl.
good. I'm gonna have to watch that movie this weekend, chat. Best believe I'll watch it before the Undead Chronic stream happens. I'll watch that movie. I could I could find it for free somewhere.
But like,
Um.
let's actually do a comparison here. So,
Oh, what's up?
like, let's think about some of these like Disney remakes because from one in particular, Sleeping Beauty
Yeah.
that was remade for modern audiences was Maleficent. She's the main character. She's secretly better than everyone else and is really a victim of a rape metaphor.
So you're talking about the old school
What's the thing?
stories.
Yeah, the old school story of Sleeping Beauty, and then you have the Disney adaptation of said story.
Well,
And then you had the live action CGI with Angelina Jolie remake, which completely flipped the story on its head.
for example, didn't Ariel at the end of the story turn to like foam? Something
Oh
like
yeah, oh yeah. She turned into sea foam in the original. Oh no.
somebody turned to foam. And
No,
then
she. I think she was going to, but it's implied that yeah, I think she was turning into foam, but because she was a good person, she got to go to heaven, like which was normally denied to mermaids. So,
that's still dark as shit.
oh yeah, no, original Little Baby was dark as shit. No, I'm talking Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, Sleeping Beauty.
Like
Yeah,
that got major rewrites there too, because
yeah,
yeah,
that's
original story.
Rumble Odyssey. That maybe, yeah, that story is not
Yeah,
good.
uh, yeah, because yeah, there's a lot of weird shit in that, but yeah, old
So
fairy tales are weird, people.
the foundation of Disney is pretty evil,
No,
pretty dark.
no. Like, here's the thing. Like, back in those days when Disney first did Sleeping Beauty, like it wasn't bad. Like, I guess the thing, it wasn't really bad. It didn't really have a whole lot of extra metaphors. But if you compare just Disney's takes on Sleeping Beauty, and you compare the original animated movie that they made versus their reimagining with Maleficent, like they were clearly made for very different audiences. I'd go so far
Right.
as to say that original Sleeping Beauty was made with a gender neutral or even masculine audience in mind, whereas Maleficent was made with a female audience in mind.
Well, when you put it that way, I agree. I agree. It's um
Like even Aladdin too. I'd say yeah, original, very masculine. But then there's apparently a scene in the live action
wait,
remake of
hold
Aladdin.
up. Wait a minute. What is that noise?
Oh, sorry, that's me scraping off my paintbrush.
Oh, I was about to say like what the fuck's going on? I thought you were like cracking your neck or something. But Sir Weed says the Begold starring Clint Eastwood.
Beguiled.
I tried. Beguiled starring Clint Eastwood is horrific as well as terrifying to a man going his own way in his Civil War time. When was this movie made? Let me look. I can't even spell today. Hold up.
2017.
Really? That recent?
Yeah. Based on a
Oh,
1966 novel.
I'm down to watch it. A lot. Okay, they're giving some BS. Okay, it has a low rating because it probably told a lot of truths. I'm gonna watch it anyway. Hey, thank you for the recommendation, Sir Weed. I'm gonna watch that shit.
Like,
Okay,
yeah, Legos is Gross doing ASMR. Look, I would absolutely do a fucking miniature painting ASMR video.
but okay, this is a very specific question when it comes to today's songs, today's music, today's media. How should I explain it? I want to go more specifically to the black community, and we will branch out into society as a whole. Do you believe that this type of music that's being presented in like the mainstream radios and the concerts and all that stuff, because hip hop is the most popular genre in the world? Do you think, not do you think, do you know that the songs today are a big influence on what's going on in society, in the sense of like the violence, drugs, the bitches, etc. Do
Absolutely.
you? Okay. Why is that?
Like, well, because just anecdotally, at work, I can tell what was been on the radio recently based on what my coworkers decide to sing poorly. Like,
What do you mean by that?
like they're not singing it very well, and I honestly can't tell whether they're just terrible at singing or whether they decide to intentionally sing stuff badly just because they think it's funny or whatever. But at the very least, like, music is sticking with people. Even just key lines, it sticks in their brains, and they
So,
just repeat it. They can't help but think about it and want to repeat it.
so would you say the genre of hip hop is the main influence, the main drive in modern feminism today?
I definitely put it up there, but as
I
for the
can't.
main drive, I don't know if I'd put it as the main driver
When it comes
because
to the media,
I think it's definitely the most subliminal. I don't know if I'd
right?
put it as the main driver. It more so creates the atmosphere which allows feminism to survive.
Mm, I agree.
It's not the driving force, but it's 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 like oil in a vehicle. It doesn't do anything on its own, but it makes everything else run smoothly.
And I'm not saying that hip hop is bad, chat, but compare hip hop 20, 30 years ago to what it is right now.
That's right.
There
It's
are,
not that the genre is bad, it's that the predominant themes of the current zeitgeist are bad.
yeah, these new rappers are promoting nonstop drug usage, promoting nonstop promiscuity, promoting nonstop degrading and talking down to men, and then vice versa, talking and degrading women down as well. It's, and I'm not saying that hip hop is the only genre that does it, but it is definitely the main one that does it.
I um I think it's a contest between hip hop and country.
I was just thinking country. I
Like
was
if you
just
had to
thinking,
ask which genre simps harder, rap or country, that in itself would be just a massive debate and you'd never get a conclusive answer.
because
Like I need to actually look up this one song real quick because it's like my favorite country music song, and it's from an era that didn't have this shit.
But gentlemen, here's the biggest hypocrisy. Here's the biggest oxymoron. These very same women that idolizes Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, whatever it is that wants to worship their WAP, they still expect to be treated like queens. You guys get what I'm saying? This is another example of one of their cake and eat it too. How you want to spread your butt cheeks for the online world to see, and then expect some guy of value to put a ring on you and commit to you. How does that make any sense? Because once again, a guy of value has plenty of options. Why would he want you, especially you as a woman that's in your late 20s, early 30s, already been through a bunch of dudes? Hopefully you're not pregnant, but if you are, that makes it even worse, right? You're a single mother. And then you expect to have some type of Prince Charming like him? No. He will take multiple wives, multiple women before he will quote unquote commit with a single mother that knew that being a Jezebel wasn't going to end well. Yes. Like what you just said right now. My past doesn't matter. Yeah, it fucking matters. It matters. And whatever female, I'm going to say it right now before I let Gray go. Whatever female that says that shit, you better kick her ass to the fucking curb. Because I guarantee you, if a female says, my past doesn't matter, her past is so full of skeletons, she's not able to fit all of it in the closet. She fucked so many dudes. She's done so much shit. It's not even funny. Hell, it's even worse if she doesn't want you to meet her family.
God, that's like, if there's any ever was a massive red flag, it's my past doesn't matter. It's like, so you are not only so ashamed of your past that you do not want it to see the light of day, but you haven't changed. Otherwise, you'd say it as some sort of success story for a dark place you escaped.
Agreed. See, people, they got on me around last year about going after religious women. I'm like, gentlemen, if you haven't dealt with enough religious women, then you haven't dealt with the modern women enough. Do you know how much they hide behind religion to do their promiscuous deeds? That's why the saying, religious women are the freakiest, is very common.
Speaking from experience, it is true.
They use that to protect their reputation. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can agree with me as well. There's only a small select few women that are actually a child of God. Majority of them, they only use it as a facade. They only use it as a mask so they can go behind their priest, daddy, and the religious mom to go fuck a bunch of dudes at a college dorm. How do you know, Sir Eunice? Believe me, I fucking know.
As they were fucking me!
They, like, the chat needs to comprehend that a woman will try her best to avoid accountability unless they have no choice. I repeat, a woman will try her best to avoid accountability unless she has no choice. But religion is a perfect scapegoat. Just saying.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm a born again Christian. It's like, you fucked up so badly that you had to start over?
Why you gotta do him like that? Why you gotta do him like that? Woo! Hey, Gray's not wrong, chat. Gray's not wrong. How bad do you have to fuck up to be like, I'm doing all over again? Oh shit! If she did it the first time, she wouldn't be a 40-year-old single mother.
Like, I'm sorry, there's no reincarnation in the Bible. You get in one shot.
That's why they're going so far to get these hymen surgeries.
I want to undo my terrible past. Like, ain't nobody erasing that shit.
Like, see, and that's what a lot of women fail to comprehend, right? Majority of men can tell if a woman is ran through, whether he witnessed it or not. We can tell. We can tell.
Most of it's
Right?
in the eyes.
Yes, the 1,000 chicken stare. Gentlemen, when it comes to that type of situation, yeah, just because she's wearing a certain outfit doesn't mean she is a certain way, but there has to be a reason why you're wearing a whore's uniform. And I got that from Dave Chappelle. Why else are you wearing this 304's uniform? Why do you feel so comfortable to walk out here in public with that uniform? Like, they really think that the average man is that dumb. Well, I say man, not simp or white knight. I'm talking about actual man. Like, you you really believe that you're gonna walk down the street with your booty cheeks hanging out and I see all of your titties besides your nipples, and you want to be treated like a fucking Queen Cleopatra? Like, make it make sense, but of course, you can't really associate logic with modern women these days.
No, and that's why I'm a big advocate for, like, bring back shame. They do not process logic. They have to go on emotion. The only way to actually cause them reflective pain is to hurt them emotionally.
Right. And they gaslight you to oblivion. They gaslight you to oblivion to make you look like the crazy person. They make you look like you're the one that's going insane. But no, you as a man, you have standards. You're not going crazy. You're not going insane. She's the one that's getting beyond pissed off because at this point she has to put effort to keep you around. That's what she doesn't want. I'm just
Well, the
saying
funny
from my
thing
experience.
is, like, it's a catch-22 because, like, she doesn't want to put in any effort, but if you make it too easy, then she gets upset because she's bored with you, and she didn't have to put in any effort to do you anyway. So
Well,
it's basically like she's going to be pissed off at you regardless. So
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I agree. But I'm just saying in general, she wants to put in as minimal effort as possible, regardless of who the man is. And unless you are like top tier shape guy, she's not gonna go out her way to cater to you. That's not gonna happen. I ain't trying to sound all black pill up in this bitch, but based on the experience of women that I dealt with, bro, they come complain to me about how fucking weak and pathetic their exes are, or oh, this man is chasing me, but he's my friend though. He's my friend. He gave me this, he gave me that, he gave me these presents, but oh, this is too cheap. But I didn't really have to do anything. And she's willing to give it up. Give that Gawk 3000. I'm just saying, gentlemen, you are in a losing battle in the Western world today. And Western media, like movies, TV shows, documentaries, etc., is clear proof of that.
And that's the thing. Like, you with a woman, like, you can't. You cannot legally compete with the constant flow of fucking mass media. Now, there are certain things you can do, and if you want to find out, that's going to be an Odyssey or Rumble exclusive, because there is no way I could describe those things on YouTube and not get this channel yeeted straight to the moon. But if you guys are curious what an example would be, look up a cone named Kyle. Damn, Heath, did you mute yourself again? Probably steps away for a couple seconds, think I'm going to be on an extended rant. I'm like, and back to you, Yeet, and he's gone. That's the thing. Like, whatever your ideas are, the way that you think the world should be, the way that you can logically deduce that the world should be, hers is a world of constant emotion and propaganda, and you can't compete with that because you're not going to be able to influence the media that she consumes 24/7, 365. It's kind of like parents who think that they're the be-all, end-all, and that they have the most influence over their children. It's like, look, you send your kids to state-funded daycare, and you really only see them on holidays for maybe an hour or two in the evening, and weekends whenever you're not trying to get away from them. Parents are a minimal influence in the lives of their own children, and you as a man are going to be a minimal influence in the life of any woman that you interact with these days.
I completely agree. So if you get a girl and she was already a 304, she's going to stay as a 304. That's not going to change. You know, that's why the saying, you can't turn a 304 to a housewife, is beyond popular, because that is true.
But here's the other thing.
What's up?
It's like, it's not like a 304 is going to turn into a good girl and then she's going to just stay a good girl. Like, no. You got to understand, being a whore, like taking drugs. And who are you going to trust to leave? Like, if you had to leave one of two people in a room with a baggie of cocaine, are you going to leave it with the person who's already done cocaine or the person who's never done cocaine?
Never done it.
That's what it's like being with a woman. It's like, if she's going to have if she is going to be given opportunities to sleep around and temptations to sleep around, which she will, the one who's actually been promiscuous in the past or the one who's a virgin?
See, but that's the crazy part, because they're so adamant about our potential future, but they will raise hell if we even ask or even mention anything about our past. That's the crazy part. If you mention anything about our past or try to see how she was 3, 5, 10 years ago, she will throw a fucking fit.
Yeah, and to which I'd be like, look, you want to know what my fucking salary is? Like, okay, this is a job interview then. In which case, you are applying for the job of wife. I am telling you what my lifestyle is and my employment so that you can get an idea for the kind of salary and benefits that you will be subject to. I, on the other hand, need to look into your past because you, as the wife, are being hired as an employee. So I need to find out whether or not you are a suitable candidate for this. And for that, I'm going to need to know a couple basic things like, have you stolen from anybody? What is your history with children? Oh, and how many miles of dick did you take last week?
Also, how do you treat your parents? How do you treat your siblings? There's so many things that you have to vent when it comes to these.
Like, that's the thing. As soon as she asks about your occupation and how much you make, it's a job interview, and you get to start vetting her past the same way that an employee employer would vet a prospective employee.
Right. And they act all shocked on why men don't really go on dates as much anymore. Not because they're not getting lucky, not because um the standards are just too high. It's just that anytime that a man try to get stuff, because that's the point of a date, to get to know one another. It just straight up goes into a job interview. Like the fuck, like we just met. Why what I do even matters to you right now? We just trying to get to know. How much do you make? What kind of car do you have? How many rooms do you have in your house? Do you have any health insurance? Like what the fuck?
Hey, be thankful they're asking about health insurance and not life insurance.
Okay, yeah, she would be automatically cut off. She would be automatically cut off if she asked.
Like, there's a red flag for you right there. What's your life insurance policy? Not high enough, apparently.
I ain't got none. But Gray, do you have any final thoughts? Because I know that you gotta do your thing tomorrow morning.
I guess I'll just re-summarize. Like, the media today, it is aiming towards the female fantasy and the ultimate female fantasy of being a villain and getting away with it. And that is, of course, making it so that women will think that they can live that shit out. It's kind of like the whole, like, you know, like they argue a lot how, video games cause violence because they let they let men live out that kind of fantasy virtually and then they do it in reality. Well, okay, but by that same logic, movies and television are turning women into whores because, like, they see this stuff in the media and then they think it's okay to go around acting like whores.
I completely agree with what you're saying. I agree. And what I will say is, unfortunately, Mochi, we definitely ran out of time when it comes to calling in. We can do a call-in show sometime Sunday or Monday. I'll let you know. But the next stream that we're looking all forward to is the Undead Chronic, because he's going to have some heavy hitters in the stream. It's going to be good. But when it comes to the media, it definitely poisoned society to the point of no return. Not the main reason, but it's definitely a big reason on why we are here with this current situation that we're having. Social media has been an influence on multiple lanes on why women believe that they're strong, independent, don't need a man, and then why men believe that it's okay to be weak, frail, emotional, just fucking pathetic. That's not cool. That is not cool.
Agreed.
We're only the few that's willing to speak against that. But it's only a few of us and a countless drag queens of them taking over major media platforms, going to elementary, middle school, and high school to do some sexual dances in front of high schoolers and shit.
Unfortunately, the money is not on our side yet.
Agreed. So it seems like it's a losing battle, but we will definitely see what's going on in the future. But at the moment, this is one of the many reasons why I tell you guys the media is the most powerful weapon on the fucking planet. Because it will make good guys look bad and bad guys look good. There's countless examples of that. Just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when you're watching mainstream news about what's going on in the world. Who's truly the good and the bad guy? Think on that. Anything else, Gray?
Yeah, I guess reiterate that final point there. Like, you see all the shit that they lie about you, that they lie about to you these days to your face shit that you have objective evidence is false. Why would they tell you the truth about the stuff that you can't verify?
That's a great question, actually. That is a great question. Like, they're already lying to you. I wouldn't even say lying. They're gaslighting you to oblivion, even when you have clear, concrete evidence of them being wrong.
So I'm gonna bet that there's a whole lot of shit that you took that we've all taken for granted because it was just taught to us. Or like we have no way of verifying this one way or another, but everyone seems to agree on it, so it's probably true.
So,
It's
would you?
very likely not.
So, okay. So, would you say that society in general, right now in 2022, it's pretty much a rhetorical question, but I want you to answer it. They only want collectivism. They don't want individualism.
Yes. Like they have like not just want, they necessitate it. It is necessary for their system to keep going, for it to be a collectivist society. We're already seeing a huge level of panic with just 7% of eligible men not working intentionally.
Only 7%. Damn.
Seven. I think it's like it might be. It's either 7% or it's like 7 million.
Right.
Out of the entire population of the U.S., 7 million men have officially said "fuck it."
Gonna live the minimalistic lifestyle, pretty much.
And that's already fucking scaring people and having major repercussions. Not even
Good.
one in like that's exactly that's good, but that's the thing. They need it to be collectivist because they need men. They don't just need men to be slaves. Because as a certain era of American history has pointed out, slave labor is not particularly efficient. Might technically get shit done, but it ain't going to be near as productive as a whole bunch of willing people working towards some sort of goal, either individual or collective.
Agreed. They need men not only to be slaves, but we all know this, to survive. That's it. Survival.
Like,
So, what's up?
that's the thing. But for the system to survive, like for the system to continue as it is, a man just doing what he needs to survive isn't enough. They need men to work as though they are going to thrive. But they have taken away all the benefits. So the men are like, you know what? I don't need to run super fast on this treadmill. I can walk.
So you say men just losing motivation and purpose?
If they're not losing it, it's being taken away from them.
Well, yeah, taken away. Yeah.
Like they're having their motivation taken away because like, well, what am I working towards? Well, you're working towards this, this, and this, but you've made all those impossible. Like not just more difficult, not just more challenging, outright impossible and unfeasible. So the man's like, just well, fuck it. I don't need to do all this crazy bullshit. And then the fucking boomers that come out on top of that, they try to shame them and be like, oh, uphill both ways to the snow. I worked fucking 120-hour week. Like, bullshit. You had a labor union. You're lucky if you work. Like, you had a hard week when you worked a full 40-hour week. Because your fucking labor union says you can't work more than 60 and you had to be paid for 80.
See, okay. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Yeah, you're speaking 100% facts on that one.
You bought a house with the leftover money from after paying off your college tuition with your part-time summer job.
That is true, but like I said before, as men at this point, and I envision, right? I'm not saying it's facts, but I envision it's a similar thing that happened with Rome when they had the barbarians at the gate. A lot of them, they dropped their swords and shield because what's the fucking point? What's the point? They will get nothing in return, dying for a society that treated them like shit.
And as Nolan Void mentions with the IRS agents, like, look, I just need to make enough money to give to the government to stay out of prison.
Right, and that's already a bad way to go about it too. They really do believe that men are like, oh, okay, men will just work harder, men will just get higher paying job. Nope. That's the power of men.
Because what's easier for a man to do? Work harder and try to get more hours out of a day or a higher pay rate, or just cut something that isn't necessary?
What was the second choice?
Cut something that isn't necessary. Like, cut out a vice. Like, for me, like, when I needed to set aside a little extra money, I just stopped drinking booze.
Oh, second choice.
Like, all they got to do is, like, cut a luxury. It's like, you know what? Maybe I don't need this. Maybe I don't need this subscription. Maybe I don't need this streaming service. Maybe I could go with a cheaper cell phone plan. Like, a man can find all sorts of adaptable ways to cut out expenses in his life and still be completely comfortable.
Yes, I notice a lot of men, the only reason they have like all this furniture and shit in their place is because they got pressure from their girlfriends or their wives or family, more specifically parents. Say, hey, you need a nice little bed, you need a good old couch, you need a TV, you need a dining set, blah blah. But if it was actually up to men, it will be a okay apartment or a 1-bedroom house with just the basic necessities. That's it. Just like a TV, a chair, some beer, possibly a PC if you play on PC, but if not, console. And then you have the basic ingredients in your fridge, such as like chicken and beef. And see, it will be so simple and so much cheaper. So I agree with what Gray's saying. I agree. The minimalistic lifestyle, a lot of men will be able to adapt. But can you really say that women are able to do the same thing, especially when the recession hits?
And that's the thing, because they're not running on the logic of it. Like, could they physically? Yes. Can they emotionally?
No.
And that's the thing. Like, from the objective standpoint, could they? Yes. Like, I mean, there's a bunch of shit that they don't need. But women live in a world of emotion. That's going to be what undoes them. Their constant need to improve their emotional state.
Bro, when I was 21 years old, this one bitch came to my place talking about, oh, you need more pains. You need this. You need that. I'm like, the fuck, bitch? I don't need to do none. What are you talking about? Like, my place is just fine the way it is. But she just had this goddamn urge to, nitpick my place. I'm like, bitch, I'm just trying to fuck. What are you talking about? And I watched this one special with Dave Chappelle, like a lot of times actually. If a man can fuck a woman in a cardboard box, he wouldn't buy a house. He would not buy a house. That's the only reason why men got these beds and these couches and all this other crazy shit because
Okay,
that's what women that's pretty much what women like.
that does kind of explain all the hobo tents in California, though.
Man, that's when the bitches like fucking hit rock bottom. uh
You're telling me that you don't think that there's any bitches in California right now that are fucking crazy enough and kinky enough to go with a homeless person just for the taboo of it?
no, I'm serious. No, I agree with you. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you.
You can
But,
absolutely fuck a woman in a cardboard box.
but I'm just saying that uh men on average, if they didn't have to buy a house to fuck a bitch, there will be no houses to buy. Men are very simple. Once again, minimalistic lifestyle, Chad.
Well, the other thing is, like, again, Canada, winter. I'm sorry, you ain't surviving in a cardboard box throughout the winter. Should
You
just ain't
underestimate a man's sex drive.
You underestimate negative 30 degrees Celsius. Thank you very much.
Come get this. I'm sorry. Going to a girl in the middle of the winter, like, come get this popsicle. I'm just saying. The only reason why all these men are getting all this crazy shit for their place is because women like to be comfortable. They like to be comfortable. If women do not have the requirement to be comfortable, there'll be a lot of empty fucking houses right now. Am I wrong? There'll be a lot of empty houses right now.
I mean, I think more like, I don't know if I'd agree that women want to be comfortable because they tend, like, I think, no. I disagree that women want to be comfortable. I say men like being comfortable. Women like to be Yeah, I think that women value entertainment over comfort.
Okay.
Because a man wants peace, a woman wants chaos.
We'll be going down the rabbit hole with this one because there's definitely, now that I think about it, there's a lot of variables that go through that one. But in general, I do agree with you.
That's the thing. Like, I think that they care far more about the social status of a comfortable life than they do about the actual comfort and peace.
Well, what I'm trying to say, it depends. But we'll be going down that rabbit hole at that point. But in general, yes, she's more about how she feels. She's more about, does this guy makes me feel good more than what does he have? Right. First, it's the sexual attraction. Then it's what he got. So I agree with you saying.
Like, I've known women who, like, they'll live in some crazy uncomfortable conditions over peace and comfort, like, in exchange for the emotional thrill of not knowing what's going on day to day.
I agree. They're the 22, 23, 24-year-olds thinking that the world is their oyster and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. A shot of whiskey says if women actually care about comfort, they will want the good man and not cheat on him with ram chat and title. See, I'm talking about physical comfort, just physical, in the sense of, how do I explain it? Chad and Tyrone has to look like Chad and Tyrone for them to overlook you having a bed on the floor, like you have no bed frame or nothing type situation. You will literally have to look like a fucking close to a Greek god for them to overlook that. But if you don't, if you're above average, they're going to critique very well on how you live.
No, that's the thing. They could like you wouldn't even necessarily have to look like Chad
What?
Tyrone. It's all about the context and their expectations.
See, that's the thing. Like,
Because let's be like,
I don't want to keep you up, but that's definitely a rabbit hole we have to
yeah,
go
that's the
down.
thing. Like, yeah, no, we'd have to do a very deep dive. We could actually have an interesting back and forth on this, so we'll make it a future topic.
Actually, hold up. We can definitely talk about that tomorrow, Sunday for sure, because that's a good topic. I agree.
Also, I don't know, man. My schedule for the weekend's like kind of borked, and I am hoping to do my Elden Ring stream. So,
Oh, it's all good, you know. Sidetrack. TFM, he may or may not be coming on Sunday. So
oh god, fucking tempt me. Why don't you?
I'll let you know. I haven't been able to get in contact with him yet, but if not Sunday, then definitely next week. I'll definitely have TFM.
All right. Well, yeah, I got to bump off because I can work in the morning. But
Yeah, I
good
tried to get
talking to you,
off
Phil.
like 30 minutes ago, but shit got real.
Yeah, then it was like closing thoughts, and then we go down another fucking route.
Yeah, like what happened to closing thoughts? But chat, it is your boy Sirius and the Great Ghost. Hopefully you enjoy the stream that we gave you guys today, and I see almost 100% participation from the chat. I definitely been paying attention, and you guys have interesting things to say. But I would go through it, but unfortunately, a lot of people need to touch the grass tomorrow, so we're gonna have to cut
More
it
like
short.
touch a foot of fucking snow. More like.
Ugh, snow.
I ain't seeing grass for the next 6 months, man. This is Canada.
But thank you, everybody, especially Rusty Rivers. Thank you, everybody, for the donations that you gave me today. And on top of that, hopefully you enjoyed the gems that I dropped on you guys as well. And Grey Ghost, because Grey Ghost, he dropped more gems than I did tonight. Not going to lie. But we will talk to you tomorrow, Sunday, or sometime next week. We are out. Peace.
Peace out, everybody.